Hentai Tentacle Man. We got Nidus on the plate today. Yes, I have pay to win fashion. If you play hockey, you gotta pay your league fee, you gotta pay for your equipment, have your skates sharpened. If you race cars, you gotta pay a track fee, you gotta pay maintenance fees on the car, you gotta pay insurance and whatnot. For Warframe, my league fee is buying the Prime Cosmetics. So while this fashion is pay to win, the build is free to play. So let's look at the build, alright? Before we get into the actual build, we have 200 energy from Archon shards and cast speed. Very, very handy on every frame. And normally it's 188 energy. Right now it's 388. I'm tempted to take one or two off, but I'm fucking myself on the bile. I have like no bile from swapping and experimenting with all these Archon shards. So I'm just leaving it for now, but honestly, more energy is always better, so it's not a bad choice. Now, so let's get right into it. Growing power, because strength affects all of his abilities. Kind of not really these two, but that's not important. Range. The Umbral Suite, because it's just solid on Nidus. It's just really solid. Archon Stretch. We have Coil Horizon, a Helminth ability from Geyer. We're going to learn a little bit about the positives and negatives of this move over Larva in just a second. Blind Rage, because you just have to on Nidus. If your Nidus build doesn't have Blind Rage, I think you're a fucking moron. I'm sorry. I've yet to see a build on Nidus without Blind Rage that I'm just like, wow, this is garbage. Prove me wrong. Show me a good Nidus build without Blind Strength or Blind Rage. I don't think it can happen, but maybe I'll eat my words. The next one is Insatiable. It's an Insatiable Nidus build. So Nidus has a chance of getting additional mutation stacks from his 4. How much percent? 174% chance. We're going to see a live demonstration of exactly how much stacks that does. It's insane. This augment is why we can take Larva off here. In case you didn't know, Larva, when you kill stuff, has a chance of generating additional mutation stacks. I don't think that was always on it. I think they added it later because everyone was complaining that they couldn't get any stacks because everyone was killing everything. But either way, that's neither here nor there. This is, normally you would really need this because the additional stacks and because people are killing your enemies, right? So, because of Insatiable, we don't need that. We can swap it out for anything we want. He needs a grouping ability, in my opinion. Absolutely imperative for him to have a grouping ability. When I see builds on Nidus without a grouping ability, I just shake my head in shame. You know that, you ever seen El Torino with, that cringe face, that Clint Eastwood cringe face. That's the face I do. If you type in cringe, you'll see it on any GIF generator thing. Go to Facebook and type in cringe, you'll see it. Abundant mutation. This allows us to get 300 stacks instead of 100. It does have a bit of a nasty passive where you have a 30-second cooldown instead of, I believe it's 15% normally. Adaptation, just adaptation. Now, part of this, in order to counteract this, I think Molt Reconstruct is just solid on Nidus. Whatever the energy cost is on your ability, times 6 is the health you're healed. So you'll get 700 just by casting Virulence. So you will have so much health. That's why a lot of people they put so many fucking health mods on him. I don't understand. Like, you don't really need Rolling Guard, which normally it's a crutch perk for me, right? I feel naked with that. I played Dark Souls for a lot of my life. Without Rolling Guard, I feel naked, but you don't really need it on him. Surprisingly, especially with Operator, but a lot of people, they'll put fucking Vigor and one of the Gladiator mods that gives you health, and I'm just like, why? He has enough health, especially with Molt Reconstruct and using operators and everything, like I said. So let's get right into and of course Molt Augmented, more strength, because strength benefits everything. So let's get into the live demonstration. So my companions turned on. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anything. And he stopped shooting after a little bit anyway. So we're, obviously you usually start encounters by grouping them up and then stomp. So we hit a couple enemies. We didn't hit all of them. We got 2 stacks, right? We're just gonna stomp one more time. Normally from this you would get just the 3 stacks from one stomp like that, but I didn't do it fast enough. Now we're gonna use this. I'm not linking myself with this 3 yet, just so you can get a kind of a better picture of how many stacks we're getting. So there's all grouped. If you switch to operator and switch back, woo, 74, baby! Big fucking stacks. Big fucking stacks. Now we're going to go back and we're going to do this again. We're going to do the same experiment just by pulling up the mod menu. Hello? Pulling up the mod menu is supposed to... There we go. There we go. Back down to 0. So we're going to group them. Stomp. .44. So it's like you don't even have to have the perfect rotation. I fucked up my rotation there, so that's on me. But it is. We're just gonna do a couple. So we'll do one, I guess. 70 stacks. So one of the big problems people have with Nidus, I always see people be like, he's only good for endurance because he can't get stacks. He can't get stacks. Teaming or the fucking Insatiable mod completely changes that. It is so unbelievably easy to get stacks, and now you're doing so much more damage because you have more stacks from the other augment. It's really obscene. You're getting to 300 without even trying. You can do capture, exterminate missions very quickly, and you will always have a massive abundance of stacks. Gone are the days of being like, fuck, my team, this Mirage and this Nova and this Saren, they're slaughtering everything before I can get any of my stacks. Those days are gone. We have so many stacks, we don't know what to do with them. We could die 1,000 times and it won't matter. A good benefit of this, a lot of people are like, yeah, Nidus is very stationary. That's one thing he has that is a detriment to him that many other tanks don't have, is that he has to be stationary because range does not affect the range of his 4. Now, I can cast this wherever I want, whenever I want, without fear of repercussions because I have so many stacks, it doesn't even matter. I can just fucking waste them and I will always be able to get back up very easily, and like this is actually doing damage. Actually doing solid damage. Now a pro tip I have for you about specifically his 1. So his 1 has a max range, as you see. Oh god, I love the animation of this. It comes out and has its full duration. So let me actually go over here to test it out so I can just stand on this. So see, I'm casting it. Casting it pretty fast there. And now, like, gee, why does this seem slower than this? See how much faster this is? So a lot of people don't realize this, that it either has to travel its max distance or it has to hit a wall. So when possible, try to hit walls so you can really stomp fast. A lot of people don't realize that, and it's a shame, probably because they just watch a YouTube guide and that's the only research they do. They don't experiment for themselves. So yeah, now getting back into Coil Horizon, specifically some of the benefits and negatives of it, because there's positives and negatives to it. So we'll start with Larva. So Larva, you can cast it anywhere, right? I can cast it on the ceiling, which can be useful in certain tile sets, and then you can shoot them on the ceiling. You can cast it wherever you want, which is nice. Another thing, Larva gives you stacks when you kill the enemy that's in it, which is very useful. And previously before this augment rework, we were struggling with stacks. Stacks is a big thing. You couldn't afford to switch off Larva for Ensnare or Coil Horizon, in my personal opinion. Now, another downside to Larva is that, say you cast it, you can't recast it. Coil Horizon, I can, look at this, I'm just recasting. I can cast it as many fucking times as I want. And another thing that is a downside to Larva is that, say I cast it here, a lot of times it will suck enemies through walls, and you won't be able to recast it. There's nothing to shoot because somewhere in all the chaos, there's an enemy being sucked into a wall. Coil Horizon has less of that bullshit, but there are some negatives to Coil Horizon. So Coil Horizon, you used to be able to cast it up in there. I think that might have been a bug, specifically with the helmet. I've never seen anything adjusted with it in the patch notes or anything. So maybe it's just, faulty memory or what, a Mandela effect. CERN is fucking up Warframe. So there is the negative side of I can't cast this on the ceiling and have everything get sucked up, which, as I said, can be convenient for some tile sets. Also, some people don't like the way this move works. I've seen a bunch of people say they can't figure out how it works. Like, do you not understand how a ball rolling works? It's literally a bowling ball. Part of it too is people are brainless. They don't realize you can cast, and if you double cast it, you can cancel it whenever you want. I love this move. I think this move is a lot of fun. It's an active gameplay thing that makes you use your brain a little bit instead of just like point, click, point, click, point, click. It's actually like, well, it's a little bit more than that. It's a little more nuanced than just point, click, because you got to kind of like, see, I just pointed and clicked it. It didn't go anywhere near where I said because it takes a little bit more nuance than that. Additionally, another benefit to this is that one, you see top of the screen, Archon Stretch is proccing there. Archon Stretch. And then to the right of it, we have an Arcane that's proccing. Yep. I believe it's called Conjunction Voltage is the Arcane that's proccing for that. It's still a work in progress. I'm working on making a build for that. I haven't really figured out how to unlock its power. But that is another benefit to it, is that the electric Coil Horizon can proc Coil Conjunction Voltage, which is, increases your reload speed and your multi-shot. So it's a great way to proc that all at once. Also, in addition, another benefit is that it's another damage source, right? It's another damage source. You're doing a little bit of damage with it versus Larva, which is not doing any damage. Like, see, we're going to pull them all together. And they have the electric status effect on them. So, for any of your gun COs, your gun condition overloads, you're getting another status, which is pretty useful. Especially if you don't have status. Right now, this isn't my normal build, so like normally I wouldn't have a Conjunction Voltage on this, but it would just be part of, I have gun CO on this, so you can get every single element crammed in here by using this, whereas Larva, you would need another augment to make it do any sort of damage or apply any sort of effect. So that's essentially the long and short. Yeah, the keynotes I can mention you, the key takeaways I hope you take are that punch the wall. Punch the wall, don't punch the air. Make sure you're punching the wall. And Coil Horizon is an excellent ability in my opinion. I love Coil Horizon. It looks cool, it's flashy, it fits the Cyber Nidus theme I got going on. And it procs a bunch of different stuff. It's got, like I said, there's positives and benefits of everything in this game, and nowhere is it more clear than with Larva and Coil Horizon's replacement. So I hope you enjoyed this brief build video. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, I would really appreciate it if you wrote it down and you brought it to either a t-shirt printing store, a local one preferably, or you went to teespring.com and then send them what you learned, that little script, have them printed out on a t-shirt. Then I want you to try to pick up girls with that t-shirt, and holy fuck, you will be drowning in pussy, my guy. You will have to be beating them off with a stick. So enjoy your life. It's going to be difficult now because you're constantly going to be swarmed with hot, dripping pussy. So I hope you enjoyed this life-altering guide that you've just viewed. So, yeah, bye.